My name is Melissa Conn. I'm with Sweet Georgia Sports, and I'm here today to talk to you about why I think Matt Ryan deserves MVP. Now, you may be thinking I'm a little biased because I am a Falcons fan, but I truly believe that he deserves the award this season. Now, let's take a little look at his competition before I dive into why I think Matt deserves it. First off, you have Tom Brady, who is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, quarterback to ever play the game. But he was suspended the first 4 games of the season for allegedly cheating. His team went 3-1 without him. They had second and third string quarterbacks winning games. They probably could have even put me in there and they would have won a game or 2. That's just how Bill Belichick is. He has a great team. He runs a great system. He's a great coach. But Tom Brady did have impressive stats for the 12 games that he played. He threw for 28 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 3,554 yards, and he had a quarterback rating of 112.2. But, as I said, his team was 3-1 without him. The Patriots proved they can win games without Tom Brady. Can the same be said for the Falcons? No, I don't think so. The Falcons would be lucky to be 4-12 or 5-11 without Matt Ryan. He means that much to this team. Now let's move on to Aaron Rodgers. He's also a great quarterback, and he'll also go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. He's on a hot streak right now. He's 6-0 in the last 6 games. 15 touchdowns, no interceptions. But he did start the season 4-6, and part of the reason that the Packers went 4-6 is because of his poor quarterback play. I mean, he turned it around, but the MVP is not a half-season award. It's the full season. He does have impressive stats, though, for the season. He has 40 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He threw for 4,428 yards, and he has a quarterback rating of 104.2. A case could be made for Aaron Rodgers, but as I said, it's not a half-season award, and he is partially responsible for why the Packers started out the way they did. Next up, you have Ezekiel Elliott, who had 1,631 rushing yards, 15 touchdowns, and he will probably win Offensive Rookie of the Year. But is it him, or is it Dallas's offensive line? Everyone knows that Dallas has the best offensive line in the NFL. Could you put Zeke behind, say, the Cleveland Browns offensive line and him have the same stats and mean the same to his team? I don't really think so. I don't think that Elliott would have made the Browns win any more games this year. Maybe a few, but, Don't get me wrong, I think he's a great running back, but I think he's also a product of a great offensive line. Plus, the MVP doesn't usually go to running backs. It just usually goes to quarterbacks, so he'd have to really impress the voters for him to win. Now let's move on to Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan had the greatest season of any NFL quarterback this year. He threw for 4,944 yards, which is second only to Drew Brees. He had 38 touchdowns, which is second to Aaron Rodgers, 7 interceptions. He had a completion rating of 69.9, and his quarterback rating was 117.1, which was first in the NFL. He averaged 9.3 yards per attempt, which is first, and it's also an NFL record. He is the only quarterback to throw at least 1 touchdown in every single game this season. He has 55 consecutive games with at least 200 yards passing. Now you may be thinking, he has Julio Jones. Of course he's going to have a great season. Well, did you know that he threw a touchdown to at least 13 different receivers this year? Did you know who Aldrick Robinson, Justin Hardy, Taylor Gabriel were prior to this year? No, you didn't. Matt Ryan doesn't need Julio Jones to win the game. I mean, we are so blessed to have Julio Jones. Don't get me wrong. But he doesn't need Julio Jones like some people think. Matt Ryan also threw 2 or more touchdowns to 10 different receivers this season. Now, what are the pundits saying about the MVP race? I think most of them agree that Matt Ryan deserves the award. I think it's down to between him and Tom Brady at this point. But Matt was just selected to the first team All-Pro over Brady, so that counts for something, right? Now, the case against Matt Ryan, to me, is a little tedious or dumb, I guess you could say. But people will say that he's 1-4 in the playoffs. He can't win the big games. He throws bad interceptions at bad times, like in the 4th quarter. But that's in the past. I mean, he did have a bad game against the Chiefs. He threw a pick 6 and a pick 2, which essentially lost him the game. But since then, he's been on a hot streak himself, and he has really stepped up his game. Do I think he will win MVP? I think he will. I mean, honestly, a case can be made for all of these guys, but I just think the stats and how Matt Ryan's been playing this year just puts him over the top. I mean, last year the Falcons went 8-8. They started out 5-0, but then they fell to 8-8. And it just seemed like Matt didn't really understand Kyle Shanahan's system, or maybe, I don't know, that the other players didn't get a grasp on it. But year 2 in this system, Matt has been phenomenal. I mean, the whole team, the whole offense have been phenomenal. And it just shows how much that Matt grew within the past year. And the Falcons are 11-5 and have a first-round bye in the playoffs. Would the Falcons be 11-5 without Matt Ryan? As I said earlier, no, they wouldn't. The defense isn't strong enough to win us games, or at least give us a winning record. So the Falcons need Matt Ryan, and his stats and how valuable he is to our team is what will put him over the top and make him MVP. You've been watching Melissa Conn with Sweet Georgia Sports. Have a good day. And if you like what you see, click the little thumbs up button below you.